Success isn't something that happens to you by accident. It's something you attract by the person you become. This is the foundation of everything Napoleon Hill taught throughout his life. He spent over 20 years studying the most successful people of his era, interviewing titans of industry, self-made millionaires, and visionaries who shaped the world. And what he discovered wasn't a secret formula or a magic trick. It was something far more powerful. He found that success is a natural consequence of personal development. The moment you start working on yourself, the moment you commit to becoming better, success begins to gravitate toward you like a magnet. Most people have it backwards. They chase money, they chase recognition, they chase opportunities. But they never stop to ask themselves the most important question: am I the type of person who deserves what I'm chasing? Because here's the truth that Napoleon Hill understood deeply. The universe doesn't reward wishes, it rewards worthiness. You don't get what you want in life. You get what you are. If you want to live a life of abundance, you must first become abundant in character, in mindset, in habits. If you want to attract wealth, you must cultivate the thoughts and behaviors of someone who creates and maintains wealth. This is not about pretending or faking it until you make it. This is about genuine transformation from the inside out. Think about it this way. Have you ever noticed how certain people seem to effortlessly attract good things into their lives? They land opportunities that others miss, doors open for them that remain closed for everyone else. People want to work with them, invest in them, support them. Is it luck? Is it privilege? Sometimes those factors play a role, but more often than not, it's something else entirely. These individuals have developed themselves to a point where success has no choice but to follow them. They've cultivated a magnetic quality through their thoughts, their actions, and their unwavering commitment to growth. Napoleon Hill called this the law of attraction, but not in the mystical sense that many people misunderstand today. He wasn't talking about sitting around visualizing your dreams and expecting them to manifest out of thin air. He was talking about something much more practical and powerful. When you transform your inner world, your outer world transforms with it. When you change your thoughts, you change your actions. When you change your actions, you change your results. And when you change your results consistently over time, you change your entire life. The starting point is always your mind. Your thoughts are the seeds from which your entire life grows. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and limitation, that's exactly what will bloom in your experience. But if you plant seeds of confidence, possibility, and determination, your life will reflect that abundance. Hill studied Andrew Carnegie, one of the wealthiest men in American history, and learned that Carnegie attributed his success not to his circumstances, but to his thinking. Carnegie believed that any person could achieve similar success if they were willing to develop the same quality of thought and the same intensity of desire. Desire is where it all begins. Not a weak wish or a fleeting want, but a burning, all-consuming desire that dominates your thoughts and drives your actions. Hill wrote extensively about this principle. He explained that the difference between people who achieve their goals and those who don't is the intensity of their desire. Most people want success in the same way they want dessert after dinner. It would be nice to have, but they're perfectly fine without it. But the people who achieve extraordinary things, they want success the way a drowning person wants air. It's not optional. It's essential. That level of desire creates an unstoppable force within you. But desire alone isn't enough. You must pair it with faith. Not religious faith necessarily, but an unshakable belief in yourself and in the certainty of your success. Hill taught that faith is the visualization and belief in the attainment of desire. When you can see your success so clearly in your mind that it feels real. When you can feel it in your bones before it manifests in your reality. You activate a power within yourself that moves mountains. This isn't wishful thinking. This is the concentrated power of a mind that knows where it's going and refuses to accept any other outcome. History proves this principle over and over again. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Each failure could have been a reason to quit, but Edison's faith in his eventual success never wavered. He didn't see failures. He saw 10,000 ways that didn't work, and each one brought him closer to the one way that would. Henry Ford was laughed at when he proposed making automobiles affordable for the average person. The experts said it couldn't be done. But Ford had such intense desire and unshakable faith in his vision that he persisted until he revolutionized an entire industry. The Wright brothers were mocked for believing humans could fly. Yet their burning desire and absolute faith led them to achieve what the so-called experts claimed was impossible. What made these individuals different? They became the type of people who could achieve what they set out to accomplish. They didn't wait for circumstances to be perfect. They didn't wait for permission from others. They didn't let the doubts of the crowd diminish their inner certainty. They worked on themselves first. They developed their minds, strengthened their resolve, and built characters capable of withstanding any obstacle. And because they became that caliber of person, success had no choice but to find them. This is what Napoleon Hill meant when he said, "You must become the person who attracts success." It's not about manipulation or tricks. It's about genuine personal development. It's about elevating yourself to a level where success is simply the natural result of who you've become. The opportunities you seek are also seeking you, but they can only find you when you've prepared yourself to receive them. A $1 million opportunity will pass right by a $10 person. But when you develop yourself into someone capable of handling greater responsibility, managing larger sums, and serving at a higher level, those opportunities will come flooding into your life. The question you must ask yourself right now is this: what kind of person do I need to become to attract the success I desire? This question changes everything because it shifts your focus from external circumstances to internal development. Most people spend their entire lives trying to change their environment, trying to change other people, trying to change their luck. But the truly successful, the ones Napoleon Hill studied and learned from, they focus on changing themselves. They understand that when you change who you are, everything around you begins to change as well. Napoleon Hill identified specific qualities that all successful people possess. These aren't random traits. They're deliberate characteristics that can be developed by anyone willing to put in the work. The first is definiteness of purpose. Successful people know exactly what they want. They don't wander through life hoping something good happens. They have a clear, specific, written goal that guides every decision they make. This clarity gives them power, while others are scattered, chasing every shiny object that crosses their path. Successful people move in a straight line toward their objective. They say no to distractions. They say no to opportunities that don't align with their purpose. This focus compounds over time, creating momentum that becomes nearly unstoppable. But having a clear purpose isn't enough if you don't have the discipline to pursue it consistently. This is where most people fail. They start strong, full of enthusiasm and motivation. But when that initial excitement fades, when the work becomes difficult, when progress seems slow, they quit. Napoleon Hill observed that the majority of people give up right before they would have succeeded. They stop just before the breakthrough. Why? Because they lack the self-discipline to continue when things get hard. Success requires you to show up every single day, especially on the days when you don't feel like it. It requires you to take action when you're tired, when you're discouraged, when every part of you wants to stop. The successful person has trained themselves to act regardless of how they feel. They've developed what Hill called controlled attention. This is the ability to keep your mind focused on your goal despite distractions, despite setbacks, despite the negativity of others. In a world designed to steal your attention, this ability is perhaps more valuable now than ever before. Every day you're bombarded with distractions, with people telling you what to think, with instant gratification pulling you away from your long-term goals. But the person who attracts success has mastered their attention. They decide what they think about. They choose what they focus on. And they guard their mind like it's their most valuable possession, because it is. Another critical quality is the willingness to go the extra mile. Hill emphasized this principle repeatedly. He observed that every successful person he studied had developed the habit of doing more than they were paid for, of giving more than was expected, of serving beyond what was required. Most people do just enough to get by. They do the minimum to keep their job, to satisfy their obligations, to avoid criticism. But the person who attracts success operates differently. They don't work for their current paycheck. They work for the person they're becoming. They understand that every extra effort, every additional contribution, every moment they go beyond what's required is an investment in their future self. This habit creates a reputation. People notice when you consistently deliver more than expected. They remember when you solve problems others won't touch. They talk about your work ethic, your reliability, your excellence, and opportunities follow reputation. You don't have to chase success when you've built a reputation for exceptional service. Success chases you. The right people seek you out. The right opportunities find you. This is the magnetic quality that Napoleon Hill talked about. You become so valuable, so reliable, so excellent at what you do that success has no choice but to gravitate toward you. But here's what most people miss. You can't fake this. You can't pretend to go the extra mile while secretly resenting it. You can't do more than required while constantly complaining about it. The energy you bring to your work matters. Successful people don't go the extra mile begrudgingly. They do it with enthusiasm, because they understand they're not working for their boss or their clients or their circumstances. They're working for themselves. Every action they take is shaping their character, building their skills, and attracting their future success. This shift in perspective changes everything. Napoleon Hill also taught the importance of mastermind alliances. No one achieves great success alone. Every person he studied had surrounded themselves with others who challenged them, supported them, and held them to higher standards. Your associations matter more than you realize. The people you spend time with influence your thoughts, your standards, and your expectations of yourself. If you're surrounded by people who settle for mediocrity, you'll find yourself lowering your standards to fit in. But if you surround yourself with ambitious, growth-oriented individuals, you'll naturally raise your game. Success is contagious, but so is failure. Choose your associations carefully. This doesn't mean you abandon everyone who isn't successful. It means you're intentional about who gets access to your time and mental energy. Seek out mentors who have achieved what you aspire to accomplish. Build relationships with peers who are on a similar journey of growth. Distance yourself from those who drain your energy, who criticize your ambitions, who try to pull you back down to their level. This isn't cruel. This is self-preservation. You're not responsible for other people's comfort with their own limitations. You're responsible for your own growth and your own future. The final quality that separates those who attract success from those who don't is persistence. Napoleon Hill considered this the most important factor of all. Talent doesn't guarantee success. Intelligence doesn't guarantee success. Even opportunity doesn't guarantee success. But persistence, combined with the other principles, makes success inevitable. The person who refuses to quit, who continues to take action despite repeated failures, who learns from every setback and tries again with new knowledge, that person cannot be stopped. Success becomes a matter of when, not if. Think about this. Every single person Napoleon Hill studied had faced significant failures, but they didn't let those failures define them. They used them as feedback, as lessons, as stepping stones. They understood that failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the process of success. The only true failure is giving up. Everything else is just learning. So, here's what it comes down to. If you want to attract success, stop chasing it. Start becoming the person who naturally attracts it. Work on your mind. Develop a burning desire and unshakable faith. Establish a clear purpose and pursue it with discipline. Go the extra mile in everything you do. Surround yourself with the right people and persist no matter what obstacles you face. When you commit to becoming this person, success will find you. It has no choice because the universe rewards the person you become, not the wishes you make. Start today, become that person, and watch as your entire life transforms.